All right, today we're basically becoming architects, but instead of using bricks and mortar, we're going to be using words and logic. We are going to walk through the exact blueprint you need to build a truly powerful argumentative essay, one that doesn't just get your ideas heard, but actually convinces people. Let's get right into it.
This is really the core of it all, isn't it? An opinion is just, well, a feeling. An argument, on the other hand, is a structure. One is super easy to just brush aside, but the other, it's really hard to ignore. So how do we build an argument that's so solid it can stand up to pretty much any challenge? That's what we're here to figure out.
I want you to keep thinking about your essay as an architectural blueprint. Every single part of it, every paragraph, every sentence, it all has a specific job to do, and it's all working together to create this solid, really convincing structure. So before we can start building, we gotta understand the plan.
Okay, so what are we actually building here? Well, at its heart, an argumentative essay is all about three key things. You investigate a topic, you evaluate all the evidence you can find, and then you establish your position. See, it's not just about sharing what you think, it's about proving, with evidence, why your perspective is the most logical one out there. Now, let's clear up something that trips a lot of people up. What makes an argumentative essay so different from, say, an expository one? Well, it really comes down to the depth and the purpose. Think of an argumentative essay like a final project. It demands deep research because you're trying to establish a firm position. An expository essay, though, that's more like an in-class test. It's usually shorter, requires way less research, and your main job is just to explain or describe something.
Every great building needs a rock-solid foundation. And in the world of essay writing, that foundation is your thesis statement. Seriously, if your thesis is strong, the rest of your essay has a solid base to build on. But if it's weak, the whole thing can just come tumbling down. Your entire introduction is basically dedicated to pouring this foundation, and it happens in three pretty simple steps. First, you set the context. Ease the reader into the topic. Step 2, you establish the exigence. I know it's a fancy word, but it just means explaining why this topic matters right now. Why should your reader care? And finally, step 3, you state your clear, concise thesis.
And I am not exaggerating when I say this sentence is the most important one in your entire essay. It's a promise you make to your reader about what you are going to prove. So whatever you do, don't rush this step. Get it right. All right, our foundation is set. It's time to build the actual structure. And these are your body paragraphs. This is where you'll use all that evidence you gathered to construct the main points of your argument and really convince your reader. Now, the rules for building these body paragraphs are simple, but they are absolutely essential. First, stick to one main idea per paragraph. It keeps things clean and easy to follow. Second, every paragraph has to have a logical connection back to your thesis. And third, this is a big one, you need to provide the warrant. That's the part where you explain how and why your evidence proves your point. You can't just drop a fact and walk away. You have to connect the dots for your reader. So what are you building with? Think of these as your materials. You've got your factual data, like a historical data or a scientific finding. You've got logical reasoning, using those if-then statements. You've got statistical evidence, and you can even use a short, relevant anecdotal story to make a point more relatable. The strongest arguments, they skillfully combine a few of these. Your essay can't just be a jumbled pile of points. It needs mortar to hold it all together, and that's exactly what transitions do. They're the words and phrases that create a smooth, logical flow from one idea to the next, guiding your reader through your argument without any jarring jumps.
Okay, here's a pro tip. To make your argument truly bulletproof, you need to do more than just present your own side. A weak argument pretends that counter-arguments don't even exist. A powerful one anticipates those opposing views and addresses them head-on. It shows your reader that your position is still the most logical choice, even when you consider other perspectives.
And there's a really structured, respectful way to do this. You don't just dismiss the opposition. First, you acknowledge their point. Then, you explain why it might be incomplete or maybe based on outdated info. And finally, you reinforce your own position with stronger evidence. This approach shows confidence and real intellectual honesty. We did it. We laid the foundation with a strong thesis. We built the structure with our body paragraphs. Now it is time to put on the roof. Your conclusion protects all of your hard work and leaves the reader with a final, lasting impression. Let's start with the single biggest mistake people make. Please do not simply restate your thesis. It's the most common trap and it just feels lazy. Your reader has been on a journey with you through all of your evidence. The conclusion needs to reflect that. It can't just be an echo of the introduction.
So what should a great conclusion do? It brings everything together. It synthesizes your main points. It readdresses your thesis to show how it's now been proven by all that evidence, and it reminds the reader why this whole topic is so important in the first place. This is your final chance to drive your point home and leave the reader with a powerful, lasting thought.
So there you have it, the complete architectural blueprint for a strong, bulletproof argumentative essay. From the foundation all the way to the roof, you now have all the tools you need. So the only question left is, what argument are you gonna build?